leadership on climate change and remain in the agreement. It's a scam, yeah. It's a Ponzi. It's worse than that. It's demonic. And don't forget, the false prophet in the Vatican, Pope Francis, is the false prophet. I mean, he was begging Trump, oh, please. Didn't he give Trump some kind of medallion, some kind of peace medallion last week, and some papers on why global warming should be fought against, and the agreement should be, the Paris Agreement should be voted for and stay in it. Yeah. Whatever Obama wants and whatever Pope Francis wants, do the opposite. Yeah. Trump's decision fulfills a key campaign promise to supporters. Finally, someone keeps their promise with his run for president, widely supported by the Republican members of Congress who felt that the treaty, the Accord, the Paris Climate Treaty, unfairly jeopardized the American economy. Well, hello. Now, listen, the Democrats are just demon-possessed. A lot of the Republicans are just like the Democrats. And I think the Republicans are acting like they're Trump's friends when they're not. So I hope there is a shakeup. Get rid of the crappy advisors at the White House, et cetera, et cetera. Opponents of the climate deal were concerned after White House economic advisor Gary Cohn, C-O-H-N, told reporters that the president was involving on the issue during the trip overseas. He's a good businessman, all right? He's not going to show you his cards. His daughter Ivanka, and son-in-law Jared Kushner reportedly channeled support for the deal. They wanted the Paris Agreement, climate agreement, behind the scenes at the White House. Sorry, Ivanka, you don't get your new pony. Love it. The more I see Ivanka and Jared, I respect them. I love all people. But to me, they're very low in discernment on what's going on with the globalists and the New World Order and the Luciferian agenda. And the more I see what Ivanka and Jared want, to me, they remind me of spoiled brats. Take it or leave it. And I think, hey, Trump, love your kids, but don't agree with Jared and Ivanka. I think Jared and Ivanka should just, maybe do decisions on meals at the White House and maybe the curtains or maybe, whatever people are wearing. But, when it comes to fighting the globalists and the New World Order agenda, Ivanka and Jared are out to lunch. Yeah. So I'm glad that even though they wanted, and I disagree. I read reports that Ivanka was trying to support attacking Syria with missiles, and I think that was wrong. I think that was a wrong decision. Yeah. Anyways, despite Ivanka and Jared wanting the deal, Trump is not changing his mind, right? Even Trump's Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, I don't really like this guy either. I think he's got a discernment of a hammer. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, the former Exxon CEO, also supports remaining in the treaty. So, just because you're a former Exxon CEO doesn't mean you know and have discernment on fighting evil on the planet. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is 1,000 light years ahead of evil, wicked witch of the West, or East, wicked witch of the East, wicked witch of the East, Hillary Clinton. But still, Rex Tillerson is in kindergarten when it comes to fighting the New World Order. Yeah. Anyways, on May 9th, Obama defended his climate change legacy, calling the agreement, the Paris Accord agreement, the one that will define the contours of this century more dramatically, perhaps, than any other. What are you talking about, you doofus? That's Obama. In October of last year, Obama described the deal as the best possible shot to save the one planet we've got. So says the Antichrist, who, by Bible prophecy, he's going to destroy the planet, or at least most of it. Yeah, Jesus said, unless he comes back and saves the planet from Obama at the Battle of Armageddon, Jesus will save the planet from Obama and the Pope. Nobody would survive. So don't tell me about saving the planet. You liar. New York and Washington elites agreed, downplaying the future of coal as an energy source and urging more federal subsidies for wind and solar. Hey, have wind and solar. But there's nothing wrong with clean coal. All right? Yeah, you're going to wreck people's jobs and lives. And the planet won't get dirtier because there's clean coal, you bunch of dumbbells. Trump's EPA Secretary Scott Pruitt and White House Senior Advisor Stephen Bannon urged the president to keep his campaign promise to kill the agreement and put American energy and job growth first. Well, Bannon, you're awesome. And your EPA Secretary Scott Pruitt and Bannon, keep these guys. Fire the other people. Keep these guys. Because Pruitt and Bannon, you're the bomb. You're good. Yeah, they know what they're talking about. And Trump is a good businessman. He knows what's going on. And when I'm reading this one here from AP, which I don't really like, Associated Press, but even a broken clock is right twice a day. Trump abandoning global climate pact. Because the Rothschild, the wicked Luciferian devil-worshipping family Rothschilds run AP. Or at least they did. Most media, anyways, is run by the Jesuits of the Vatican. Okay. U.S. allies around the world sounded alarms today as President Trump seemed close to pulling the U.S. out of the landmark Paris Climate Accord. Well, hallelujah. Trump himself kept everyone in suspense on the question of staying or leaving, saying he was still listening to a lot of people both ways. And you got people like Elon Musk. I'm going to stamp my feet and I'm going to leave the council. Bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Bye-bye, Elon. You're not going to get your way just because you're the founder of Tesla and blah, 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 and SpaceX or whatever. Doesn't mean you're right on everything. Trump kept everybody in suspense on the question of staying in or leaving, going, staying. There's a lot of people listening, he said, promising the decision very soon. I like that about him. I like that he listens, but he makes a decision. And I think he's right on this decision. The White House signaled that Trump was likely to decide on exiting. Love it. The global pact. I don't think it's really a global pact. I think they call it a global pact, but I think the BRIC nations don't go for this as well. Fulfilling one of his principal campaign pledges. Well, that's a good sign. You keep your word. Oh, unlike the globalists and Obama and the Pope, they don't keep their word. They're liars. Don't forget, the Pope called Trump a Hitler, a modern-day Hitler, and a non-Christian. Yeah, for going against the globalists. Anyways, though top aides were deeply divided. We'll get rid of those aides that don't agree with. If Trump's aides, some of them don't know about the climate treaty being bogus, they need to be fired. Get rid of them. And the final decision may not be entirely clear-cut. Well, they're hoping it is, but I think it is. Aides were still deliberating on the language, blah, blah, blah. But everyone cautioned that no decision was final until Trump announced it. Breitbart already announced it. I'm not going to read all this because AP gives me a headache. Abandoning the pact would isolate the U.S. from a raft of international allies. No. Who cares about that riffraff? Listen, you got to be a leader. You don't put the U.S. in a bad position in its economy. The U.S. needs a boost. It doesn't need shackles. So other countries that think this is bogus as well, deal with them, stay with them. And they'll come around. The G7 will come around. They'll have to. They're saying it's going to isolate the U.S. No, it won't. It also says that they've spent years drafting this. Well, so what? It says here, who spent years negotiating the 2015 agreement to fight global warming, which is a scam. The ice cap, the polar ice caps are getting bigger. The polar bears aren't dying. All right, it's just called weather. Day. And pollution by reducing carbon emissions in nearly 200 nations. Plant more trees, dude. That's what you have to do. Plant more trees. You'll be fine. Take a breath. While traveling abroad last week, Trump was repeatedly pressed to stay in the deal by European leaders and the Vatican. Well, that should tell you right there. Get out of it. Withdrawing would leave the U.S. aligned with only Russia. No. The BRIC nations will follow you, which is great. American corporate leaders have also appealed to the businessman turned president to stay. In it, they include Apple, Google, Walmart, globalists, even fossil fuel companies such as ExxonMobil, which is probably why Rex Tillerson, former CEO, said they should stay in. BP, no, BP, you wrecked the Gulf with your poisonous BP oil dispersant crap that you sprayed and spread all over the Gulf with your, I believe BP sabotaged their own rig in that oil spill. They even have a movie about it, yeah. Shell say that U.S. should abide by the deal. No. Trump's predecessor, Barack Obama, the Antichrist, enacted the deal without U.S. Senate ratification. There you know. There you go. And there you should know that whatever Obama does, it's baloney. So Obama enacted the deal, enacted the deal. Yeah, there you go. Be healed. Yeah, in Jesus' name. The deal without U.S. Every time I talk about Obama, I just, it gives me the creepies. And my mouth doesn't even want to talk about Obama. The name that shall not be named. Yeah. Trump's predecessor, well, let's just say Obama, the Antichrist, enacted the deal without the U.S. Senate ratification. A formal withdrawal would take years, experts say. A situation that led the president of the European Commission to speak dismissively on Trump on Wednesday. So suck eggs. Who cares what you think? And just, we're not going to be... Listen, other countries... China won't go along with this. And by the way, the U.S. is doing fine with coal and other clean energies. There's nothing wrong with all energies. We could do without nuclear energy, by the way. They say Trump doesn't understand. No, he understands perfectly that you guys are a bunch of devil worshippers. So it's a big fight. Blah, 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 blah. Again, he met today with Rex Tillerson, Secretary of State, who likes the deal. That should tell you enough about Rex. Listen, there needs to be a weeding out here of the weeds of Trump's administration. I think somebody else might be better at a Secretary of State than Tillerson. Because if Tillerson doesn't know this, he doesn't know much. Yeah. So, wow. So, blah, 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 blah. Trump has several options, climate experts say. Well, it looks like he's already pulling out. Hope he does. Hope he just, tells everybody and puts it on Twitter. Let's look what Elon Musk is having to say. You just at my feet. I watched a video of Elon the other day, and that guy has a hard time speaking. Something's up with him. He may be a brilliant, a genius when it comes to maybe engineering or technology or marketing, but when it comes to speaking, something's not quite right with him. Anyways, I'm watching him. Musk is threatening to leave his role on a pair of White House councils if President Trump pulls the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accord. The Tesla CEO said on Twitter Wednesday. So, Musk said in a tweet that he's done all I can to advise Trump to remain in the accord, under which the U.S. and other nations have pledged to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Plant more trees, you should know that. I mean, you're going to, cows can't fart. Seriously? Wow. In a reply to a Twitter user who asked Musk what he would do if Trump does halt U.S. participation, the Tesla chief wrote, we'll have no choice but to depart councils in that case. Which I think is very childish, by the way, because if he's on councils at the White House, you need to discuss that with Trump. You don't need to be on Twitter talking to, in some kind of chat room without high-level talks with the president. That shows a immaturity. It also shows a demonic presence around Elon Musk. Just like Kathy Griffin in her horrible display of a decapitated